just coming back to your point then, do you believe, I mean, you've talked to everyone about this, has Sunak secured the concessions from the European Union? And you made this point before, there's something in it for everyone, but perhaps not everything for everybody. Has he secured concessions that will satisfy the major parties in Northern Ireland and put this issue beyond them?
Certainly in terms of, I mean, the great symbol of this is the British sausage. So under the protocol, the British sausage was banned from Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
We're not quite at barbecue season, but it's, you couldn't import meat from the rest of the UK. You couldn't import medicines. That is all resolved.
Yes.
The problem now is that Northern Ireland can't export that sort of thing back to Britain. But it's, I think a lot of the issues have been resolved. Whether in the long term it's enough to save Sunak's premiership is another question, because there are other issues to come, and this may inject some more poison into the whole. Okay. The whole kind of Conservative party
just answer this. Just answer this to me. I mean, to people watching this, they're wondering what the hell this is all about, because the United Kingdom does incorporate Northern Ireland. So if there was a referendum and they said, right, we're out of Brexit, how do we have this aberration in relation to one part of the United Kingdom? How did it come to this?
So it was a complete miscalculation and appalling mistake by the Theresa May government after Brexit, after the EU referendum, because the EU insisted that we needed to sort out Northern Ireland first, because it has a land border. It's the only part of the UK to have a land border with the European Union, because Ireland is a member of the European Union. And in the end, I think the Brexiteers are right on this. In the end, they were trying to use Northern Ireland as a Trojan horse to try to keep control of the UK, its regulations, its tax levels, and so forth, because Northern Ireland would be permanently excluded. Now, to be fair on Rishi Sunak, he's dealt with a lot of that. So Northern Ireland now can enjoy any tax breaks that the UK has and so forth. Yes. So that is a very good thing. But this is what it was all about. If Theresa May told them to get stuffed in the first place, then we might not be here.
Right.
But after years of talks,
everyone seems to be breathlessly awaiting the verdict of Boris Johnson. He seems to be warning the Democratic Unionists about potential traps. Has Boris been hoping that a row over the deal would give him a route to take power back and return as Prime Minister?
I think there's no doubt about that. And he understood that could get him in. I think the problem now is that it's only going to be the real hardliners of the Conservative Party, the so-called European Research Group of Brexiteers, but not even the majority of them, the real hardliners in that group, who will oppose it. And I don't think that's enough to get Boris back in. That's why he's disappeared. That's why he's all silent all of a sudden.
Well, just before you go then, okay, where does all this end up? Do you think that Sunak, through this, has improved the standing of the Conservative Party in the electorate? There's talk that Suella Braverman, who's lost her seat in this redistribution and is in a runoff with that backbencher Flick Drummond, and there's talk that her pre-selection may depend on supporting the Sunak Brexit deal. So Downing Street, by the way, haven't intervened at this stage to help Suella Braverman in that pre-selection, but she's one of the top ministers in the government. But already, as we said last week, a number of MPs have been deselected who are part of the removal of Boris from the leadership. So, David, has Sunak gained some brownie points here? Has this improved the standing of the Conservative Party in the electorate?
Yes, he has gained some brownie points, certainly amongst his own MPs, actually. A lot of MPs who were critical of him have said he's done well. The question will be, we'll get the polls later this week in terms of the electorate. I would be surprised if it's has made a significant shift in terms of electorate. And that, in the end, is his biggest problem. 20+% behind consistently, week after week after week. And in the end, that may be the reason he gets removed more than Northern Ireland or whatever.